I wanted to have a performance enhancing conversation with you guys. It's not going to be about a drug. It's not going to be about a training plan. It's not going to be about anything that you would expect when it comes to enhancing your performance or anything that most people on Instagram talk about. It's going to be about you. It's going to be about your interpretation and your experience when it comes to failure. The reason I bring this up is because Jake and I were talking this past week about how I have been competing in powerlifting since 2007. I've failed more times than people have started this sport. I've failed more times than I've won by 1,000 to 1. Honestly, I can't go back and count, but there have been many times where I've done the wrong things. I've bullheaded my way through situations. I've showed up at meets that I had no business showing up to because I was too injured, too misguided, or just too foolhardy to think any other option was the feasible one. But in my growing development as a lifter, as an athlete, as a coach, and as a person, one of the biggest realizations that I had when it comes to my own performance and my own performance enhancement is not just what I've done, what I've failed to do, it's my interpretation of that data. Every time I go into a meet, and every time you go into a meet or a bodybuilding show or any type of instance where you are put to your test and you are put to the test and you're trying to do the best of your ability to accomplish some goal, it's not a failure if you lose. It's not a failure if you fall short. I've been hurt hundreds of times. I've ruptured bicep tendons, torn quads, torn pecs, compressed nerves, slipped discs, herniated discs, thrown my back out, done a million different things over the course of 15 years of a competitive career, and I haven't stopped. That's the key. It's not just a matter of not stopping. It's a matter of continuing on and only coming to the end when you feel as though you've exhausted every option. The best performance enhancement that you can have is an open mind. It is understanding that every action that you take has an outcome, and everything that you do not do has an outcome as well. With every failure, there comes opportunity to learn. And as someone who has failed more times than I would have liked to, I've also learned more times than I ever thought possible. And because of that, I've continued to compete, I've continued to excel, and I've gotten better and better every year. And I've broken the all-time world record in the 220-pound weight class 6 times, I think, in 4 competitions over the course of 3 years. It's not a braggadocious thing. It's simply understanding and ideally explaining to anyone listening to this that if you approach every opportunity or every instance where you have the chance to either win or lose, there's no real losses. As long as you take information from whatever happens there, whether you win or lose, and apply it to the next go round, because you continue to participate. And the biggest takeaway is you continue to believe that you are capable of getting better by interpreting that data, interpreting that information, and continuing to bullhead and strong arm your way to victory. It's being an intellectual meathead, being too stubborn to quit, but intelligent enough to know that you can't do it the same way every single time and expect different results.